The noses?
Turns out the only person who's not black in Philadelphia now is Rocky's statue. And we barely count him because he's Italian.
I know I don't.
One of the best things that fucking Bill Burr ever did in that meltdown to
Oh,
Philly.
yeah.
When he's like, you got fucking, he's like, what's his name? God damn it, Joe Louis. He's like, Joe Louis is fucking from here, but you guys are so fucking racist that you put up a fake statue of a fake Guido instead.
It's so good. It's so good. Fuck, he killed it there.
Yeah, so like depression and anxiety.
So during the break, I made you something. YouTube took a second for it to process. You're good. Royce, this is all for you, Bappa.
Uh-oh.
Yes!
Hialeah. There you go, baby.
Opalaka Hialeah is the place to go.
That would have been better.
He's gonna do the dance. 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 He's gonna do it.
No.
Why didn't you have him do the dance, Virgie? Why even bother? Loser.
Wow.
Sorry, Virgie. I have sads.
I did it really quick.
Way
I have sads.
to shit on his lovely gift.
Yeah, but can you do it really quick and good like Pessy does?
No, I can't. Pessy went to school for this. Also, he's Jewish.
Yeah,
he's just more talented than I could ever be.
I know. No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Normally, one of the things that affects first is our ability to concentrate. So you may find you're watching TV, you're binging on Netflix, and you just can't remember anything.
Anyway,
I thought about asking you to join the Devil Riders,
Project Console.
but to ride with us,
Title
you've got to follow the code.
of this episode is
And there's no room in our
Without
ranks for
Standards.
coin-chasing
And
bounty
before we
hunters.
get into it, I'd like to introduce my panelists.
Hello, this is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Busters. Glad to be on another cast. It's always good to get down and talk about some games, gaming industry.
The Vault
And
Hunter
BS is
decided
going
to
on.
crash the party.
Oh, glad to have you. Glad to have you. Well, in any case, before we get to first topic is Mario RPG remake got leaked. No surprise. Whenever a big Nintendo Switch game comes out, it gets leaked. Not really much to spoil here since this is a pretty old game, but you know there are people that have never played this game, so you know.
Yeah.
If you want to go
Yeah.
into it blind,
Yeah.
just stay away from Twitter because I'm sure people are sharing it, and I'm sure Nintendo is pulling out their hair like they usually do to stop people from posting. Yeah.
And here's what I say to that. I mean, it's Mario RPG. Like, in the grand scheme of things, I'm going to keep it 100% real. Is Mario RPG, like, the best RPG for the Super Nintendo? No. I don't put it, you know, like, I put it, like, in terms of, like, Squaresoft RPGs that came to that system, I would put Mario RPG, like, a little bit above the bottom. But in terms of, like the top 5 Squaresoft RPGs that came out at that time, Super Mario RPG's like, it's a solid, you know, it's solidly in the middle, you know.
I mean, if it was your first RPG, you know, growing up, you probably have high regards for it, but you know.
Well, yeah, that's nostalgia, but I just mean in terms of like just like technical prowess, because it's not very advanced.
Yeah,
like there isn't a lot going on in Mario RPG. It's a good game, but it's not like, oh my god, like playing Mario RPG ain't gonna make you really good at playing RPGs in general.
Yeah.
So like it's just kind of, you know, it's like the brilliance of Mario RPG is that it's a basic bitch RPG with it's a basic bitch RPG, but with a what's the word I'm looking for? With a Mario aesthetic.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but like like the people who act like, oh, this is the best thing ever. I mean, look, listen. I came of age during that Super Nintendo age when arguably some of the best 16-bit RPGs of all time were created. So is Mario RPG better than Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, Lufia 2, Breath of Fire 2? No. No, it is not.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's really good. You know, I'll tell you this much: it's better than Earthbound.
Yeah.
You know, but the remake, from what I've seen, from reviews of it, is amazing. Looks pretty good. You know, a lot of people are really enjoying that game, and I'm happy for them. You know, I'm one of those people. If you're happy with something, I'm glad you're happy with it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad those people are happy with their game.
Yeah. Man, it's always good to have it's always good to have a game that you're happy about.
Yeah. People deserve to be happy. I'm glad people are happy with what they get. You know, and to be honest with you, that's one of the few games that makes me want to that's making me want to go and, turn on my Switch.
Yeah. Yeah. So what?
So
and another reason I wanted to bring this topic up is this game was designed in Unity.
yeah.
So, so it's funny that Unity was going to do what they were going to do and piss off a big publisher like that. Like that wasn't a smart move at all. It's like, okay, we're just gonna burn bridges with the companies like Nintendo.
Well, not really, because you have to remember that like the people who would have been hit harder with the fees on Unity were small and indie developers, because a big publisher could afford it.
Yeah. But,
And really, those changes were designed to hit people who make games on cell phones and shit. Because what they wanted was a piece of that money, what was a piece of the pie from people selling, those microtransactions on smartphones.
well, they should have been more specific.
Well, I mean, look, man, I'm just telling you what the reason. I'm just giving a reason as to why they did it. I'm not saying it was a good reason. I'm just saying that's why. I
don't know, if you're gonna go after a certain fish, you might want to use more specific bait rather than using some sort of general bait. You keep catching the fish that you don't want to catch, or something like that. Yeah, it's just.
Look, man, listen. There's a reason that the CEO got fired after that shit, because it wasn't what he did, because his job is to make more money for the company. It was how it did. It was how it was done. Like, literally, the worst way to increase fees is just like, we're going to increase fees retroactively and not have to give anyone any say in it or communicate with anyone else about what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, so, like, I understand that Unity has been running at a deficit for a long time, but that's not how you do that. There is a better way, for lack of a better term. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they fired that. They fired him with the quickness, like those cartoons where the character gets kicked out of somewhere. They just drop kick him like a like a kickball out of the out of the menu. He's gone today.
They pulled a Don Matrick.
He's gone.
He pulled a Don Matrick.
Yeah.
You saw a man destroy his career in real time.
Yep.
It's like,
Yep.
oh Lord. The only good thing about it is that it wasn't like broadcast on TV like Don Matrick shit was.
Yeah.
But still, it was like you saw a man destroy his career over a month.
No, it's not that they fired him today. They fired him yesterday. He's gone yesterday. Like they
got the DeLorean and went back in time? Like, we gotta get the DeLorean up to 77 miles per hour, Marty. Okay, all right, Doc. Why, Doc? We gotta fire some guy, Marty. Okay, Doc. Whatever you say. Question, Doc. Do me and Jennifer grow up to be assholes or something, Doc? I don't want to answer that, Marty.
They gave him the boot. I was like when I heard the message that their message that they sent out, like it was like, yeah, he's done, he's out. There's like no celebratory language at all.
No, and there wouldn't have been, because like you don't release something like that and don't tell nobody nothing. Like, I'm like, how are you the CEO and you're like, we're gonna do a major change and we're not gonna tell anybody shit. I'm like if you look at any of the really good leaders in business, all of them are really good at communicating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this guy went in his golden parachute or something. He was just trying, because think about it. He knew this was gonna break their backs because
that's why he liquidated all those stocks, those Unity stocks, because he knew like this shit ain't gonna fly.
Well, take my golden parachute with these stocks, and I'm just gonna be shit canned after.
Well, that's his entitlement package. If you are a CEO, you are entitled. Like you're signing up for remuneration for doing your job, and his job was to increase the value of the company and make it profitable. And he did his best, but his best wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
But then again, Unity has never been profitable, so I don't really,
Yeah.
That's the hilarious thing is like they're like, oh well, this happened. I'm like, Unity has never been profitable.
Yeah. And they probably had investors breathing down their throat because they wanted breathing down their neck, not breathing down their neck.
It wasn't a big issue when they were privately traded, and it was like only like just a few people with their shit on it. But when you got all these people breathing down your neck saying, "Hey, where's my money? Hey, where's my money? Hey, where's my money?" It's like, at a certain point, what are you to do?
I don't completely understand how this works, but then when you get public and you get investors, they invest money into the company. Isn't it kind of like a bit of a loan in a sense, where they,
no,
kind of get not really.
No. An investment. Okay, people who invest and don't understand investments, they think it's a loan. It is not a loan. Okay, you can loan a company money and they have to pay you back on that money. An investment literally is you're taking this money. Think of an investment like you're planting a seed, hoping that this seed will grow into a fruitful crop. Okay, But even with the best of intentions, you can water it, you can do everything. What you plant, it still ain't gonna have no fruit. Even if you do the best thing you can. Now imagine you're not the one tending the fruit; somebody else is.
Yeah.
That is what investments are.
Okay.
There's always a chance you won't get your money back, or you might just break even.
No, it's just like, no, so it'd just be like buying or putting money into stocks. Then these people just buy a lot of stock. Okay, sorry, I just had a I don't know why I thought. Yeah, so essentially they these you go public to so that other people invest in the company.
Yeah.
And then as
you
profit,
get more money.
other people profit. So it's just you want to keep. It seems to be a problem. It seems like it seems like it can be a problem because then you're just putting out lazy products for so you can please investors.
That is true, but here's the thing. Here's why it's not necessarily always bad that like a company opens up to investment. Let's say you opened up a business, all right?
Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking, Kanoshi Industries, okay? And you wanted to make it bigger.
Yeah.
All right? You're like, I want to make it bigger, but I don't have the capital to make my business bigger. I don't have the money myself, right? So you go and you say, look, I'm going to open it up to people. You can do a private investment where you go to people and say, I'll give you a third of my company. Like I'll like you take half of your company and you turn it into shares. Let's say you turn it into 500 shares. You sell the shares. You say, hey, I have something that's really valuable, and if this pans out, if I get the investment, my company can generate $1 million in revenue per year. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm selling shares at $50,000 per share. Sorry, yeah, $50K per share, and you have 500 shares. Now, if you sell all those shares at $50K a pop, and you say that's 50% of the company, the other 50% I have, okay? So I have control of my company. Like, you basically, or like say it's 49%, okay? It's $50,000, okay? That's a lot of money, okay? That should be enough to get you where you need to go. Well, investment is where, public investors where they do that, but it's open to everybody. The problem is that you don't have individual investors doing this because individual investors don't have the type of capital to buy enough stock to really have a say on where the company's going. What you have are these hedge funds run by millionaires and billionaires who come in and say, look, we bought 30,000 shares of your company, which is like 13% of the company or 20% of the company or whatever, and we want to return on our investment. Which, here's the thing, if you put money into a company, the whole point is that you expect it to grow, right? Like I have multiple stock portfolios. I didn't put money in the stock portfolio so that my shit would stay flat.
Yeah, and if the investment fails, you're just luck. Like,
well, I mean, that's why typically most people just that's why they say think long term. For example, if you buy a stock from like the 80s and it was like $30 a share, and today it's like $500 a share, you made a huge return on investment. Your stock is very valuable.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But if you're like a lot of people who get into stocks, they think short term. It's like they think that short term trading shit. Short term trading is not really worth it unless you have the type of capital to absorb the blows when it fails, because it will fail.
Yeah.
Inevitably, short term stocks always fucking fail.
Yeah, everybody in their get rich quick scheme. Free money costs the most.
Yeah. So, but my point is just simply this. Yeah, I mean, look, listen. The man his job was to make the stock more valuable. Did Unity's stock value go up while he was there? Yes, it did.
Yeah. And it probably, went to a certain level and just kind of stayed there.
No, no. But the
Oh,
thing
yeah.
is, even though the stock value went up, it still wasn't. It still wasn't enough.
Oh. But yeah, in any case, we went from Mario RPG to Unity. That's all right. But in any case, Sony is all in live service games, along with a few other companies. I think WB saying they're going to do something, and then you have Sega with their vague
Super Games Initiative.
which just seems like a live service thing.
Some
I don't know.
bullshit. What it is?
It's just like every 3 to 6 months, you see one come and then you see it go. I don't understand what they, it's just like you'd figure as all these live service games have been sinking, and some of the older ones like Fortnite isn't what it used to be. It's not doing the numbers that it used to. You'd figure these companies would be like, maybe we should back off of this. But someone wants to come out with at least 6 within the next 2 years, and then you got like...
No. The thing is that these companies think that they'll be getting free money.
Free money costs the most. Good luck. Yeah.
They think they're going to be getting free money. They think that, because what they're looking at is, okay, like, we do X amount of whatever, and we're going to get all this money. What they don't realize, or what they refuse to realize, I don't know, is that ultimately,
it's
people have a finite amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I understand. Yeah, we want to do all this shit and blah blah blah, yakety schmackety.
Yeah. People have a finite time. A lot of these games are super grindy. Look at some of your MMOs, the original, live service games, like your. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there are stuff that came before WoW, but WoW is something that's, well known. Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but just in general, people have a finite amount of time for anything.
Yeah.
Like, people only have so much time they can devote to shit.
Yeah.
And then once that time is gone, they move on to something else. So it's kind of laughable that people are like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna create all these live services." Like, people only have room for maybe 2-3 live services at a time.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like I said, a lot of these games are super grindy. So it takes a little bit to get anywhere. So why can't It's just like going back to the investors thing. Is it simply they're just not making enough money for their investors, so they need to, instead of putting $100 million, $200 million. Actually, I think it's upwards to a AAA game costs between $30 million to $500 million dollars to make.
What? No,
And-
AAA is these days is these days. Back in the day, it was $1 million. Now it's like 50 to plus.
Yeah.
It's 50
Yeah.
plus.
Yeah, it's so and they typically only come out with one of those games a year because
That's all they can afford because those games have a 5+ year development cycle. They can't do more.
Yeah. So it's just like they can't come out with like 2, 3, 4 AAA games a year. So they need something to hold them over because you can't spend 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years making one game and hoping that one game is ultra profitable and will keep you afloat. I mean, you have rare cases like when it comes to Rockstar with GTA 6. They've been living off of that game, that one game, for the past 10 years.
Yeah, but GTA Online. What made that game profitable was GTA Online.
Exactly.
And GTA Online, and like GTA Online made a lot of money because those dumbasses who put money in GTA Online continue to put money into GTA Online.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have obviously GTA Online. They tried to do it with Red Dead Redemption 2. That was flop. They gave up on that.
Yeah,
'Cause people
it was a
weren't talking to
flop
it.
because GTA Online and Red Dead Redemption are two completely different games, and
Yeah.
it's kind of uh, it's not smart to have those games all be in the same, you know, like they're two different animals, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And
where they
so,
fucked up. They fucked up, Logan.
and, these companies, you've seen people come out the past, I don't know, few months. Developers come out and say, these games, these big games that everybody wants to play, they take too long to make. Take 5, 6, 7 years. It's like, okay, then your best bet is probably make something smaller to build up
Yeah, but Kenoshi, why are you
creating.
making sense?
Yeah, I know that. See, that's the problem. It's
See,
like,
that's where you messed up, man. You need to smack your mouth for making sense. 'Cause trying to make sense out of this bullshit. I mean, I look, man. I agree with you. That's what they should do. Or here's what you do: you split your studio into two. You have one studio of people who, like, put out, like, have quick turnaround games, like stuff that they work on for maybe a year or 2 years. You put those out. Those have modest budgets of like at the highest 10 million, but they sell gangbusters. They're profitable. So you make money off of that. Like if you have a studio of people where your main game takes 6 7 years to come out, but you've got like you had 4 games come out between then that each were making like $500 million to $1 billion a pop. The game that's taken that long is paid for. So when that game comes out and that sells a lot and it's got a long life and it keeps on selling after all that, you got your money.
yeah, yeah, and um, and they hype up these games like they announce them like 2, 3, 4 years out. Before it's like best thing would do is to like create smaller games. It might look like indie games, might even if they're pixelated or you really just have to focus heavily on art style. Um, you have those games. They connect to the narrative of your main AAA game. So now you have this expansive world, expansive, you know, fiction, and and you write it in such a way that you don't necessarily need to play those games to play enjoy the AAA game, but even if you did play those games, you'll get more out of the story when the AAA game comes out. But again,
Yeah. Once again, why are you making sense?
I'm asking for way too much. They need
yes, yes, you are.
But yeah,
what's wrong with you? Why are you?
They need to keep.
Once again, I repeat to you, sir. Why are you trying to make sense?
Yeah, I know. You can't do that in this industry. I've talked to people that got burned out. Or at least I've talked to a person that ended up getting burned out of game development because it's insane. But yeah, it's just like they need to put out these cookie cutter McDonald's fast food games where they can make quick cash, make their investors happy, keep those stocks going up.
Look, man, look. You make that sound like that's a bad thing, but if you own stocks, you want your stocks to go up, man. That's it's called capitalism.
I get it. I get it.
The same thing, right? Like if you put your money into a CD, which is It's money that you put into a bank that gets loaned out to businesses so that they can grow. You want your CD to grow. That's the whole point. Like no one invests money not expecting it to make money.
No, I mean I get it. I understand it. But it's just I wish we can find some kind of balancing act. I mean, let's talk about Modern Warfare 3. Let's talk about
let's talk about that dog shit.
Like,
Let's talk about it.
We're talking about live. We're on the this is still on the topic of live service games.
Yeah, let's
they
do
had
it.
the gall. They had the gall to
The balls.
the ball.
They had the unmitigated Billy Betts, big steel balls of steel, if you will.
The unmitigated galls, the cojones to
The nuts.
to
They had the nuts.
yeah exactly to release an expansion to Modern Warfare 2, charge you a nice hot $70, and call it a full sequel release game. Like, like they should feel ashamed, and whoever bought this game should feel even doubly more ashamed.
Yeah, they should slap themselves. As an old YouTuber who used to be on YouTube used to say, you need to slap yourself. I agree. I mean, I can't lie. I 100% agree. I'm gonna tell you right now, and you know what you forgot something. They also charged people extra money for early access so that they could functionally just be beta testers.
God dang.
For the multiplayer. They pulled a Bethesda with Fallout 76.
Yeah. That's just the thing that they've been doing for years. But I mean, this is one of the most egregious things I've seen out of this company. It's like it uses the Modern Warfare 2 launcher. Like this is how egregious disingenuous this is. Like there was a lot of confusion because this was this thing took 16 months to develop, which is insane when it comes to developing a game. And people thought Kotaku had an article about this, or Jason Schreier wrote something about this.
One of the true real games journalists, Jason Schreier.
Yeah, they had 16 months to make this, and people thought they were just making an expansion. Well, lo and behold, they didn't. So they had to come out with some BS PR about the game because they had to eat that. They have to eat that shit sandwich, unfortunately.
They had to. Well, but I'm not going to sit there and say blame the developers because they were doing what they were paid to do. Yeah. This is a Bobby Kotick. This has smell that. That's Bobby Kotick funk all over it. And that executive, just one last fuck you to gamers as he walks out the door.
Yeah.
This is I'm gonna get paid, bitches, and you gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
And you gonna put the money down for it. And listen, but I don't blame. I don't even blame BioWare. I mean Activision. I blame these dumbasses who keep on buying these games.
This game probably sold like 10 million. Let's see how much this game.
They keep on every year. They're like, yeah, I play Call of Duty. Why? I want to play with my friends. Fuck your friends. I'm sorry. Listen. It's because you people are like sheep, and you go and you play this bullshit year in and year out, that a company is able to do this to you because you have no, because you have to play, because you've been programmed, you've been, what's the word? Indoctrinated. You've been indoctrinated into, accepting bullshit. I mean, and look, listen. I don't want anyone to say you're a Nintendo fan. You're no better. Look, listen. I call out Nintendo fans for buying Pokemon shit. Pokemon hasn't been good for years.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm guilty myself. I'm playing Starfield right now. The difference is, though, is that I can mod the shit out of Starfield to make it to a better game. Shit, you better not mod a Pokemon game. The Pokemon company will come to your house and kick your door in and beat your ass.
Oh yeah.
I'm being facetious. They'll just take a finger. They ain't got time to beat your ass.
So speaking of company that's on some shit, Rockstar decided to make an announcement for an announcement.
Of an announcement?
Of
Yeah.
an announcement.
Yeah.
So why?
Because they had to get that announcement out for their announcement. Look, man, keep up with it, man. It's business, man. You got to get the announcement out of the announcement of the announcement so that next week they can have the announcement of the announcement of the announcement of the announcement. Get it? I don't. I'm literally legitimately asking you, do you get it? Because I don't understand this shit at all.
Yeah, I don't. I can't follow it. I can't. It's just. It's like, you could have dropped a trailer and everybody would have the internet would have crashed. I mean, what this game has to succeed. Cost $1 billion to make. Probably even more when it comes to advertising. It's supposedly going to be probably be at the Game Awards, so
I mean, it's GTA. Here's what I expect. I expect it to be like GTA 5. GTA 5 was a step backwards from the bullshit we got with GTA 4, but it still wasn't great. Like, how is it that Rockstar had games that had tons and tons of activities to do in GTA San Andreas, a 6th gen game, mind you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. So,
Versus GTA 5. Like, literally, they had less content. They had less content. They had a smaller San Andreas in GTA 5 than what we had in GTA San Andreas. They literally lost 3 cities.
That's crazy. That's nuts. Wow. So it was on quote unquote more powerful hardware. But so I don't know what people are. I don't know exactly. I mean, if you've been following Rockstar for the past couple of years, I don't really know why people are excited. I would just be cautious. It's not. Again, it's not.
They just want something new to play. I mean, really, it's people are tired of playing the same shit, and they want something new.
Yeah.
I understand the. I can understand the thing, because like GTA 5 is hard to mod. They went after modders, so you can't even really like how Bethesda games have a long tail. People will mod those games for years and years and years and years and years. People are still modding Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4.
Yeah.
You don't get that off of GTA games because Rockstar fucking attacks everyone who mods their games. They're like, oh, well, how dare you? See what they did to literally, they went after the modders who released GTA the GTA definitive editions for GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, right? So that when they released their bullshit by their company, that company that spent a absurdly low amount of time working on those games, making them run better, there'd be no alternative. You know, they did that. So I mean, Rockstar, you know, they want, if you want to play GTA, you got to go through them. Is basically the thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you want to play a game a way you want to play it. Well, that's not our problem. Sad, but you know, what are you gonna do? You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, they had an announcement of 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 an announcement. Because, you know, and the thing is that people are going to fall for it.
Yeah.
You know, people are going to be like, yeah, man, this is amazing. I love it. GTA 6.
After what they did to the GTA trilogy, are you guys, you know, that confident in new Rockstar?
I mean, I'm not confident, but I haven't been confident in Rockstar since they did GTA, really, it was before the GTA Definitive Edition debacle trilogy. It was really, like, I knew Rockstar was on some shit when Doug Hauser from the Hauser brothers, when those dudes left. I was like, I don't feel comfortable when the core people who made something start disappearing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
You know, they're like, well, nothing's going to change. Never has that happened. Okay? The only company that can have core people leave and you still get a certain level of quality with the games is Nintendo.
yeah,
Like, Miyamoto doesn't make Mario games anymore, but by and large, the Mario games have a certain level of quality.
yeah,
You know, Miyamoto hasn't made well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not too crazy about the new direction of Legend of Zelda. But, so I guess in that regard, yeah. But, you know, Nintendo's the only company where I've seen, oh, new people came and made this game, and it's still pretty goddamn good.
yeah. Well, looks like the completionist is in hotter than hot water, potentially.
He's completely in deep shit. There you go.
Oh boy, did you see that video by Carl?
Carl
Or-
Jobst.
yeah.
I mean, I saw part of it, and I was like, I turned it off. I'm like, I don't want to believe that Gerard Khalil did such a thing.
Yeah, it hurts. I wasn't like a big binge watcher of the completionist, but I've seen a couple of videos and I've
I used to watch it a
couple.
lot. That used to be one of my main shows I'd watch all the time. I loved it.
Yeah,
Some
and,
sad shit, man.
It's sore. You know, it
Say it
hurts a
ain't
little
so,
bit.
Joe. Say it ain't so.
Yeah, I was like, you know, it's just like there's a clip in Carl's video where he is in a call with him and Mudahar and the three of them were in a call, and he talks about how he was not he wasn't aware of it until like 2022, and he's doing something about it now. You know, for any of the people who come across this video and don't know what we're talking about, the host of the Completionist created a foundation for inspired by his late mother, passed away with the dementia, and they wanted to create this foundation. He and his I think it was his brother and his dad to help with dementia, the research for dementia. What happened was that they made a large sum of money, and it's just been sitting in an account for the past nearly 10 years, and it hasn't gone anywhere. It hasn't gone to any of these researchers. Carl also mentions a part where a professor, they claim they have gotten a letter from a professor. Well, that guy, the professor, was mentioned in the video, was fired from that institution. So, and then Gerard wanted to act like he acted like he didn't know what was going on. He just found out. He got blindsided. But when I saw that, I was like, wait, that doesn't sound like an accident. That sounds like, deliberate, deliberately,
willful, malicious behavior.
Malicious behavior.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, wow, like, and this blindsided me. This came out of nowhere when I saw the video. I was like, whoa, really? And
here's what I'll say. All right, because like I said, I saw part of the video myself. Here's what I'm gonna say. All right. At this point, I don't have enough evidence to make a conclusion. Here's what I'm gonna say. Now, I'm not gonna. Am I gonna say he didn't do it? No. I'm gonna say. Am I going to say he did do it? Also, no. At this point, all I can say is I don't know.
Yeah.
What it sounds like to me, okay? And this is just my own supposition, okay? This is just my my thoughts as a human being. It sounds like to me that he and his family legitimately wanted to create a nonprofit. As someone who has worked for a nonprofit, don't start nonprofits with your family. You want people who know what the fuck they're doing to be in charge of your nonprofit. Therefore, if something has to be done, like it's not gonna be a nightmare. All right.
Yeah.
Because from what I've understood so far from what we've learned, no one has touched the money. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Therefore, it seems to me that, like, you got people, like, okay, if people were stealing this money, I'd be like, okay, there's definitely something going on here. But
no one's been brave enough to put their hand in the cookie jar.
well, I mean,
As far as we know.
as far as we know. I mean, like if criminal charges are drawn up in fraud and someone stole the money, then we'll say, oh, how dare they? If the money hasn't been taken, it's just been sitting there, then I'm not going to say someone wants to steal it. I'm going to legit think, just to me, is that they raised this money and in their head, they were probably thinking, okay, who are we going to give this money to? You know, how are we going to use this these charitable funds? Because there is such a thing as having so much money that you get paralyzed on where to put it.
Yeah.
All right. And these are not people who themselves are wealthy. All right. I mean, I think Gerard, the big thing with Gerard is, because remember when the completionist, that other guy was with the completionist, and he left, like they had a big falling out, and Gerard was like, yeah, I have to redo all these damn videos because this guy left and he was being a dick about it. Some shit like that. I can't remember, but oh, yeah, you didn't watch the complete. Basically, the completionists used to be these two dudes. All right, Gerard and another guy named Matt or something like that. And basically, that guy left. He was like, we're making money off of the channel and I'm not getting paid enough for what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I don't have enough information to know what's going on. I'll wait for Call Jobs to do a follow-up because he does he does research what he's saying. It's not just like a lot of sensationalized bullshit like some people.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm gonna withhold judgment until I see more evidence because it's very easy. It's very easy to be sensationalized. Well, this person did this and they need to be punished. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, it's easy to get lost in the sauce on the internet, especially if it's a particularly big YouTuber that, or just not
Yeah.
a personality, big internet personality.
The thing is, people like to get, we live in a world where people like to get outraged. They don't get outraged about the shit they should get outraged about. They get outraged about bullshit that is really none of their car fare. Here's what I'll say, all right? Like, if this man and his family, which is like, that's a red flag, okay?
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't find anyone to run this but your family.
Yeah, sometimes your family is the least is the because the problem with doing business with family, any sort of business, whether it's nonprofit or profitable, it's just like they'll take advantage of you because it's like, well, your family.
And here's the thing: if your family's fucking up, are you gonna fire your family? You gonna fire your brother? He's been fucking up. You gonna fire him? Be like, look, you got to get the fuck out of here, man. So then you can go to your parents' house. Why'd you fire Robbie? Because he was stealing from me.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna listen. Look. I have a wife and kids. You think I'm gonna let my brother fuck up my ability to take care of my immediate family? Are you insane?
Yeah.
And your family, your parents will be like, yeah, but you shouldn't have done that. No, he shouldn't have been stealing from me.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why you don't hire family. You don't work with family. You don't hire family. If your family, like, I get wary when I go someplace and there's too many fucking people related to each other working there. I'm like, It's like, you mean to tell me that you couldn't find any place else to work but with your family? Like, there's thousands of places that are hiring. Everywhere you look, there's like a now hiring sign up. And you couldn't find any place else to work but with your family members.
Nepotism is such a menacing sounding word, and for probably good reason. You probably shouldn't hire your family. You probably shouldn't hire your family.
No. Now, here's the thing. Well, if I had a family member, I don't have any, like, close family members like that. But if I did, will I write you a reference? Hell yeah. I will shine your ass up. People think you fart and rainbows come out.
Yeah.
But am I going to have you working where I work? Hell no.
Yeah.
No, ain't happening. Why? Because you shouldn't. You need to listen. There needs to be a degree of separation between you and your family, just in general.
Yeah.
Like,
even with your family, there has to be certain boundaries you have to consider. Yeah.
And it's like it's just ugly because people are always going to be like, okay, did you get this job because you were competent, or did you get this job because you're related to somebody? Now, unfortunately, and this is a fact of life. Most people will get the jobs they do because they knew somebody.
Yeah.
Like 80% of, like 60 to 80% of the people who have jobs is because they knew somebody. It might not have been a familial relation. It could have been something as simple as, like, I had a conversation with this person and I had a good conversation or whatever. Doesn't matter. That's just statistically, just most people will get their jobs because of somebody they know.
Yeah.
Or someone's like, I just liked the way that person looked. They presented themselves well during the interview. We were simpatico.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. I know some people are gonna get mad when they hear that. They're like, "That's not fair." Nah, it's not. But that's the world. For example, if you're a really fat person, it's gonna be harder for you to get a job because people will think you lack discipline.
Yeah.
And if you're undisciplined in what you eat, what else will you not have discipline about?
Yeah, desire. Something I've been thinking about a lot. A lot of desire, stems from the stomach.
I mean, is that a fair assertion? Because some people do have a glandular problem. Some
yeah,
people, just the way they're built, they're just a very husky person. They might be real healthy, but they look, weird.
yeah, I look a little awkward, but anything.
So, look, we live in a world where it is not fair. It's not fair. A lot of things are not fair, but you know what? Life is not fair. That's the whole purpose of having social justice and that type of shit, is to make, when things are unfair, to make them more fair. Okay? Because justice laws are blind. Human beings have eyes. All right?
Yeah.
But whatever. People get mad when you say that. Oh, don't say that. That's, don't say that.
In any case, we are inching towards the part of the year where the industry gets another circle jerk.
Well, really? You're going that far? I was going to say they're going to break their arms patting themselves on the back, but I mean, if you want to go that far, you're right.
It is massive.
It's one big circle jerk. And you know who's sitting in the middle with his mouth wide open? Jeff Keighley.
Ew. But yeah. Anyway, and then you also have the so-called fans bitching about children's toys again. So it is the typical year. It is the Game Awards show.
Yeah. Where absolutely, they spend 2.5, 3 hours talking about absolutely nothing of value or consequence.
Yeah. This is...
Oh man, it's so bad.
So I don't know. Many will be disappointed. I'm sure, as they are every year. I mean, especially this year, a lot of critically acclaimed games came out this year, and some games got omitted. Some games just didn't make the cut. And Starfield being one of those games, and people lost their mind.
You want to know why Starfield got omitted from almost every category?
Why?
Because Starfield is a very Starfield is not a great game. Vanilla Starfield is not a great game.
Yeah, I mean, it is a Bethesda game. It's a game that you definitely want to play with. I'm sure you want to play with mods to make it.
Yeah. The vanilla version of the game is not very good, and people just don't really. People ain't feeling it like that. I understand. I understand why it didn't get Game of the Year. And I understand that people are like, oh, but but I like the game, blah, 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 blah. Look, any game that you can only really enjoy by being a PC gamer is not going to get Game of the Year, any of that shit. Why? Because, it's clear. It should be fairly obvious to anyone who knows anything. The Game Awards is primarily concerned with jerking off console gamers.
Yeah.
All right. Now, does that mean that the Game of the Year? I think if they're going to give Game of the Year to a PC centric game, it's probably going to be Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, I see Baldur's Gate winning this. Either Baldur's Gate or probably Spider-Man 2.
What?
What?
No, what was the other game?
Spider-Man 2. Either it's also Baldur's Gate or Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 has some issues that I think would prevent it from being in there, but Baldur's Gate 3? Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, being that guy, of course, Tears of the Kingdom scored higher than Spider-Man 2 in the Metacritic
Yeah, by
score,
like 2
but
points.
I don't know that matters
No.
very much. I think there have been games that have scored lower than other games on Metacritic scores that got Game of the Year. So I wouldn't take too much stock in that. So it actually really might be a toss up between Baldur's Gate and Tears of the Kingdom.
And
My
Spider-Man.
bet is, yeah, Spider-Man. Just
I'm
'cause-
putting it on. I'm putting it on Tears of the. I'm putting it either. It's either going to be Spider-Man 2 or Baldur's Gate, because Tears of the Kingdom might get like Adventure Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to be seen, like, they don't want to give Nintendo accolades. And to be honest with you,
You weren't the
on a
biggest
technical
fan of that
level,
game.
Tears of the
Yeah.
Kingdom is better than Breath of the Wild, but I think Breath of the Wild overall is the slightly better game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I honestly don't think Resident Evil 4 should be here. I don't.
Because it's a
think
remake.
Yeah,
It's a
'cause
remake of a. It's a remake of a really good game, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I don't know. But then again, I could see people's arguments like, well, they changed the visuals are significantly, significantly better than they were on the PS2. You know, they did.
You mean the GameCube?
The GameCube.
Because RE4 was made for the GameCube.
Yeah,
That game was
for the
built
GameCube.
around the GameCube's hardware. And
Yeah,
to be
it's-
honest with you, having played both of them, I still prefer the GameCube version.
Yeah, the PS2 version looked like complete garbage.
Wasn't
I
very good.
remember compared to the GameCube version.
Yeah.
I remember when I saw
Yeah.
it. It's like, wow, these textures look pretty muddy compared to the GameCube version.
Yeah.
But yeah, like maybe should have been replaced with I don't know, either like if I were to replace one game, it would definitely be Resident Evil 4, maybe with Hi-Fi Rush, or
Yeah, but they ain't doing that, because I agree with you. Like Hi-Fi Rush was such a surprise hit, and it was like that was a modestly budgeted game, and it did really well. But they don't want to give that game its accolades.
yeah,
They don't.
They don't want to promote some of these lower budget games, which would
No.
actually probably help
The
it
industry,
would
yeah.
help the industry. Since,
Yeah,
you
because the
wouldn't have
Game
to break-
Awards is all about Jeff Keighley and his friends who all want to have a big circle jerk for each other. That's what that shit's about.
Yeah, but yeah, even like let's see, Harry Potter got snubbed, or not Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy got snubbed. Final Fantasy 16 got snubbed. A lot of snubbings.
I mean, well, but is that really a snub though? Because it's not very good.
Yeah.
I mean, Final Fantasy 16 feels like Platinum's take on Final Fantasy. It doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
It's a hack and slash beat 'em up.
And then there was what else? Freaking Octopath Traveler, just nothing.
Yeah, that because people forgot that game came out. If they had the thing is, Square Enix had no faith in that game, so they released it in like February, March, like the end of their fiscal year. Whereas, their big game, Final Fantasy 16, came out in summer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they had no faith in that game. They were like, you really Japanese companies dump the games where they're like either the game is gonna make a lot of either the game is gonna do really well and buoy into their financial year results, or it's gonna it'll just be dumped there. And if it doesn't do well, they're gonna be like, well, it was the end of the fiscal year. We had to get it out.
Yeah.
They love doing that shit.
Yeah.
But you know, to each his own.
Yeah. So, you know, that's really the only thing to look forward to at the Game Awards is that GTA 6 announcement. Hopefully, if you really care about that. And actually, another thing that came out of this was Dave the Diver being in the indie game category. Apparently, it's not indie. It's they actually had a relatively huge company backing that game, so that's been it's been a point of contention too. So yeah, really, it seems like the Game Awards stuff is really heated this year. There were a number of games that came out this year that were critically acclaimed that, you know, scored fairly well, mid 80s, low 90s, even if you got in the high 90s. Don't take this stuff seriously. As I stated, as the title stated, there's no really real standards when it comes to the Game Awards.
Exactly. There's no standards. It's literally just some bullshit.
Yeah. It's literally just a grandiose commercial. Because, like, the majority of the show is just commercials. You have, like, maybe like an hour and a half of content. Like,
remember that year where literally it was like everything was just commercials for other games coming out? But, like, the actual awards, they didn't even show. Like, they only showed, like, maybe, like, 15-20% of the actual awards. The rest of them were, like, they showed them off screen or on the streaming service.
Yeah.
I was like, well, what's the fucking point of having the Game Awards if you're not going to show all the awards?
Yeah, it's really bizarre. The Game Awards structure is just absolutely bizarre.
The only good thing about the Game Awards, and I stand by this, is that we got to see Don Matrick tank his career live in real time. I was like, gosh, that man's not going to have a job next week.
Yeah, that was pretty.
And I was right. He didn't even manage to make it a month.
But in any case, you got a free topic before we close out the night?
Close
out the show tonight.
Let's see. Do I have a free topic? I do. And I won't be here tomorrow to talk about it, so talk about it now. This isn't really video game related, but I thought it needed to be said. Marvel, get your shit in order.
Yeah. Marvel's just not making it, are they?
I mean, they're still doing better than DC, but come on, man.
Yeah. What was the latest movie that came out?
The Marvels.
The Marvels? Oh. Didn't do too hot, did it?
Oh, it fell flatter than a fat kid belly flopping in a pool. It did poorly. Very, very poorly.
Yeah, that's yeah. Well, did you go and see it?
No.
No. Had no.
Here's the thing. Marvel. Like, I have a friend who reviews movies, and he saw it, and he basically spoiled it for me. I was like, oh, that sounds stupid. It's like, that sounds really fucking dumb. So, for me, seeing this movie, like, how can I put this? For me, like, Marvel, for the last 5 years, has been making some boneheaded fucking decisions, and now they're trying to right the course that they've done 5 years of fucking up. like they wanted to make Blade into a PG-13 film. I'm like, how the fuck are you gonna make a movie about a vampire PG-13?
Yeah. That's pretty bizarre.
You know, they keep on trying to bring up characters that no one gives a shit about. They're like, well, okay, I'll tell you what. We want to get women on board in on the Marvel stuff. You know, a comic book that women love, X-Men.
Yeah.
You want to know two groups of marginalized people who love the X-Men? Women and gays.
Wow.
Also, people of color. Want to know why? Because the X-Men were originally created as it was an allegory for the civil rights movement. People who were ostracized through no fault of their own by being what they were.
Yeah.
Sounds eerily prescient, does it not?
I mean, if they wanted to make something like that, they.
But
When's
you
the
know what
last
Marvel
X-Men
did?
movie? What?
Yeah, you know what Marvel did? Instead of making, as soon as they got the rights to X-Men, getting an X-Men movie together, they fucking did Captain Marvel, which no one gives a fuck about.
Yeah.
Okay, and they didn't even do the origin right, because in the lore, the original Captain Marvel was Marvel, an alien. He was a Kree from another species. All right, and then he loses his powers and gives his powers over to Carol Danvers, and she becomes the new Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
They didn't even do that. They couldn't even get that shit right. And then they're like, "Well, hey, you care about Miss Marvel?" Not really, no. I mean, Captain Marvel? No, I don't really give a fuck about Carol Danvers. I don't. I zero fucks given. Monica Rambeau, don't care about her. Don't care about Little Miss Marvel, Little Indian Miss Marvel. I don't give a fuck about any of these characters. I really don't. They had a generic villain that no one gave a fuck about. I was like, I don't care. Marvel keeps on trying to make everything to appeal to everybody, not realizing that if you try to appeal to everybody, eventually you'll appeal to no one.
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, they need to lean into their strengths. For example, like I said, they want to get women and like other demographics on board in Marvel Comics. X-Men. You want to appeal to old school fans? Bring in the Fantastic Four. Properly done Fantastic Four. No stunt casting. No, we're going to make them young and hip. Fuck that. Classic Fantastic Four. And the reason you bring in classic Fantastic Four, so you can bring in the best villain Marvel's got right now that they haven't used yet. Dr. Doom. Okay? There you go. That's how you can get the shit back on track. You can, look, if Marvel hears this, you can steal that idea. Just give me a credit for it. All right? That's it. That's all I got to say. Actually, no. I got that, you know, I mean, that's it. I mean, it's not, I don't know what's so hard about people not understanding this shit. It's like, you know?
Yeah.
They act like you're asking the impossible. It's like, this is real simple.
Yeah.
But, you know, to each his own. But what are your thoughts on it?
I was all Marvel. I was kind of all Marveled out after the Infinity
Endgame?
War. Yeah, I was kind of like, I might revisit this at some point, but I think I'm good for now.
Yeah,
but
I
know
mean,
some people
like,
still enjoy
I'm not
it.
saying every movie that's come out in the previous two phases have been terrible after Endgame. Like, I liked Shang-Chi. I liked the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
The two Doctor Strange movies. I liked those movies, but like, my issue with Marvel is that right now Marvel is fucking up pretty goddamn badly with their own movies. Not Sony badly. You know, they haven't gone to Morbius territory.
Yeah.
Morbius. It's like no one gives a fuck about Morbius or Madam Web. No one gives a fuck about Madam Web either.
Like the new Spider, I saw the new Spider-Man, the newest Spider-Man movie that came out a couple of years ago.
You mean the one with Tom Holland?
Yeah, I thought that movie was fun, but the premise was dumb as hell.
Yeah,
Like,
because they were,
it was terribly written.
and
Choreography
also
was
he
cool, though.
like he brings everything on himself. Plus, they killed Hot Aunt May, and I was kind of like, I'm not cool with that.
Yeah.
I'm not cool with the death of Hot Aunt May. No, 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 no. You don't get to kill Hot Aunt May.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the thing that makes me mad about that entire thing is that, functionally speaking, that whole trilogy was functionally just it was one big origin story to get Peter Parker into being what he is normally.
Yeah. I don't know. I just kind of wish we could move past that.
I mean, that's basically what it was, though. It was what like basically he already lost his Uncle Ben, but they needed to get him to be broke, poor, ostracized, and no one knows who he is. I'm like, this could have been done better.
Yeah, you could have had that. I mean, you could have had that, but it could have been better written. None of those villains deserved any they were trying to make the villains sympathetic. It's like none of it was earned though. Like none of it,
It was
none of it
unearned
was earned.
redemption. Yeah, it was unearned redemption, like Kylo Ren in Star Wars. It's like,
Yeah, it's just
dude, you killed your father, you tried to kill your mother. You don't get a I was redeemed. You don't get a redemption arc.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just that whole story was just badly written. I don't know who wrote that. They need to be slapped. They need to slapped upside their head. That's for sure. God.
I mean, people went with it because it was Spider-Man, but I agree it wasn't very good. It was not. That was not a well-made. That film was not well made. That whole trilogy. Like, Tom Holland is a great Peter Parker,
Not a good
but
Spider-Man.
those aren't. I mean, the thing is, Tom Holland. No, Tom Holland was a good Peter Parker and a good Spider-Man. The problem is, those movies weren't equal to how good the actor was.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like in that movie, everything could have been prevented.
Yeah.
Like, all that shit could have been prevented.
If Peter Parker hadn't been selfish and wanting to have everything, it's like, you don't understand that Spider-Man is constantly suffering. There's always some level of suffering with Peter Parker as Spider-Man. Okay? Like, even in later comics where he and Mary Jane are married, or like, they're not married at that point, but they're like dating, they're living together, and he's like, he's no longer a reporter, he's like a teacher at high school. Like, he's got to balance, I got to grade these fucking papers, plus I got to go on a date with my wife, plus I got to save the city from some dude. It's like, he's always suffering. Spider-Man is never going to have everything. And this Peter Parker should have known shit wasn't going to work out, because you can't have your cake and eat it too if you're Spider-Man. It doesn't work that way for you.
Nope.
He's like, yeah, Daredevil got me off for murdering Mysterio, but hey, I'm gonna get Doctor Strange to do a magic spell that'll make everyone forget that I'm Spider. I'm like, you ain't going, so I can go to college with my friends. It's like, no, you don't get that type of happiness. What the fuck's wrong with you? Look, you should have, look, when you, the only good thing about that movie is that the other Spider-Man came in there and was like, what the fuck's wrong with you, man? And I got to see my Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire. That's my Spider-Man. He's like, yeah, man, you don't get no happy endings, man. Look, I got a happy ending, but I'm the original. I'm the one, I built this house. That's why my back hurts, because I had to build this fucking house. And Andrew Garfield fucked it up.
The funny thing about that, I remember when I saw it, I saw Tobey Maguire, I was like, man, he's looking old. And then I came to the realization, that movie came out 20 years ago. That first movie, holy shit.
But it fits though, right? Like, he's all like, I'm old. He's like, hey, could you do me a favor? Yeah, could you crack my back? He's like, really, for real? Like, you have no idea. Oh, yeah, that's it. Like seeing seeing an older Spider-Man who's got his shit together as best he can, and like how he's like, I'm old, but I can still, don't let the old man fool you, yeah. Look, I like that. I was like, look, y'all, they really should have had that. They should, if that whole movie had just been the three other Spider-Men taking Peter, the Marvel Universe's current Spider-Man under their wing and making him into a better Spider-Man, like this would have been an awesome film.
Yeah.
No, it was, like basically, and the hilarious thing, if they had just completely outclassed him, he's like, well, how come you can? It's like, because you're a shitty Spider-Man. You got your Aunt May killed, dude. Even I didn't get my Aunt May killed. Did you get your Aunt May killed? No, my Aunt May's still alive. You got your Aunt May killed, man. You suck. You suck. You're the worst Spider-Man ever.
Yeah.
You are not the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, sir.
Yeah. They should have had. Apparently, they should have had a Gwen Stacy character or something, because she.
No.
That's her
No.
plot in life. Is she's apparently always, according to people who've read the Spider-Man stuff, her purpose is to be to die, to be the plot device to die.
Yeah, basically Gwen's like, okay, there's two characters who will never be brought back according to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, the people who created Spider-Man, Steve Ditko, all those people. Gwen Stacy and Uncle Ben. Yeah. They'll never be brought back. And they shouldn't be. Because their deaths are integral to Spider-Man's character.
Yeah.
It's the reason why this current version of Spider-Man is so shitty, because he doesn't understand that as Spider-Man he has to make sacrifices. That's why he tried to do, well, I can have everything. I can use magic in order to go to college with my friends. Like, motherfucker, you just got off for murder.
Yeah.
Why don't you accept that win and move on with your life and just say, hey, I will not be able to hang out with my friends in college. I will have to go to another school. Nah. And he made everything so much worse, trying to not accept responsibility.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so, and plus they're going with a new Spider-Man because Tom Holland says he's out, which is bittersweet. It's bitter because Tom Holland was a really good Peter Parker. It's sweet because, it's time. Like, Tom Holland's a good actor.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a decent actor. I will definitely.
No, like I've seen him in shit where I'm like, he's legitimately like, he's legitimately a good actor.
I wonder.
Like I saw him in the movie called Cherry. Yeah, I think it was called Cherry, where he plays this hillbilly who finds out someone got his sister strung out on drugs. Man, he goes on a revenge tear in that town, fucking up a lot of people. I'm like, God damn! That's fucked up, man! Tom Holland, shit! You ain't fucking around, son! I liked it. I'm like, being Spider-Man is holding him back from other shit, if you get what I'm saying.
I can see that. I can see that.
Like, it's kind of like being a vampire was holding back Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Because I saw him in other shit. Like, this man was in The Lighthouse. He was acting opposite to Daniel Defoe. And he was not being out-acted. He was literally holding his own against one of the best actors we have alive right now.
Yeah.
He wasn't like, oh, yeah, you aren't at that level. He was literally at that level.
Yeah.
And then I saw him in Good Time. I'm like, wow. And then I saw him in the Matt Reeves' The Batman. I'm like, oh, this guy can act. This guy's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tom Holland needs to. It's time for him to move on.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to be typecasted as a single character. So.
No.
I don't know how they're gonna write him out though. I'm sure they're gonna make they want. Spider-Man's a pretty big name. They're not just gonna.
Yeah, they'll just make a new person Spider-Man.
Yeah. To everybody's disappointment, it's gonna be Miles Morales.
I mean, my issue with Miles Morales is just he's not a very well written character.
Yeah.
Like his big thing is, oh, he's Puerto Rican and black. I'm like, okay, and
Yeah.
I'm like, like he's Puerto Rican and black. Okay, so and like, does he have? Are there any other? Can you articulate to me how this character is in any way, shape, or form a good character? And they can't do it. They literally cannot do it.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll give our sign outs and call it a night.
Yeah, this is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Busters. I will not be in tomorrow. I'm gonna upload a video instead of doing anything because life happened. That's gonna be an interesting time. So, not having a cast tomorrow. I will be having a cast next week, the pre-Thanksgiving cast. So look forward to that. That's gonna be fun.
Get your alcohol
I don't know what
ready.
you're going to be doing. Are you going to have a cast Tuesday?
Yeah, I think I'll have something Tuesday.
All right, so we'll both be having casts. So that's going to be fun. Look forward to that. What else? Yeah, I mean, there's some good topics, but I'm going to save them for next week.
Okay. All right. This is Kanoshi Abominito. Glad that whether you've watched it live or watched the upload, pretty good cast tonight, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. And have a good life. See you guys later.
Peace.